There's a really strange and frankly unsettling mystery unfolding in our economy right now. On the surface, things look pretty good. But if you look just a little bit closer, something crucial is disappearing, and almost no one is talking about it. So let's pull back the curtain and figure out what's really going on.
And this right here is the paradox at the heart of it all. Over the last couple of years, the S&P 500, a key measure of how well big companies are doing, has shot up by 70%. Incredible, right? Corporate valuations are through the roof. But at the exact same time, the number of job postings has dropped by 30%. So if companies are richer than ever, where in the world are all the jobs going?
Well, according to researcher Leonard Schmedding, we're not just missing something, we're being actively misled. His argument is that companies are laying off huge numbers of people specifically because of AI, but they're hiding that explosive truth behind really bland PR excuses. He says this isn't just a market trend, it's a deliberate cover-up. And that's exactly what we're going to investigate today. To really get to the bottom of this, we've got to look past the official press releases. Let's dig into a couple of major companies and see what their actions, not their carefully crafted words, are telling us. Okay, first up, Amazon. So the company announced these massive job cuts, and their official reason was a simple restructuring. You've heard it a million times, just adapting to the market. It sounds like a standard, almost boring corporate memo. But the scale of this was anything but boring. We're talking about 30,000 employees. That is not a small adjustment. That is a seismic shift inside a company. And the real clue, the real story, is in who they let go. And here it is. This is the smoking gun. The people who lost their jobs weren't primarily warehouse workers or delivery drivers. Nope. The cuts overwhelmingly hit middle management and administrative staff. These are cognitive, white-collar jobs, the exact type of work that the new generation of AI is getting shockingly good at. All right, let's look at our second case study, the German airline Lufthansa. Their official reason for cutting jobs? A weak economy. Again, sounds totally plausible, right? It's an excuse that neatly sidesteps any tricky questions. And the number here? 4,000 positions. And guess what? Once again, they aren't just any positions, they are specifically in administration. Are you starting to see the pattern here? Okay, let's connect the dots because this is the crucial point. The PR excuses change, it's restructuring over at Amazon, it's the weak economy for Lufthansa, but the victims are exactly the same. The cuts are surgically targeting white-collar administrative and managerial roles. These are the jobs right on the front lines of AI automation. And this brings us right to the core question of this whole investigation. I mean, if AI is the real reason for all these layoffs, why all the elaborate misdirection? Why not just come out and say it? Well, the answer is that it's a cold, calculated PR move. Think about it. Especially in a country like Germany, with its strong social safety nets, admitting you're replacing thousands of your own people with software is a public relations nightmare. It is so much safer, so much more socially acceptable to blame these abstract economic forces than to admit the uncomfortable truth. Our technology is making certain human jobs obsolete. And this, right here, is the fundamental shift we all have to wrap our heads around. See, previous waves of automation, they hit the factory floor. They were about physical labor. This time, the revolution is happening in the office. It's coming for cognitive labor. We are living on what experts are calling the jagged frontier of AI capability. And it's this really bizarre, confusing phase where an AI can solve a PhD-level problem in biology, but then completely fail to understand a simple joke. And this wild inconsistency makes it incredibly hard for us to really gauge its true power, which leads a lot of people to underestimate just how fast it's moving into professional, white-collar work. So whose jobs are sitting right on that jagged frontier today? We're talking about clerks, analysts, junior-level programmers, basically anyone whose job involves organizing information, writing reports, or managing processes. These used to be seen as safe, stable careers, and now they're creating a huge crisis for young graduates who are finding that these entry points into the professional world are just vanishing. And this creates a truly terrifying secondary problem, what's being called the junior gap. Think about it. AI is automating the exact entry-level tasks that young professionals have always used to learn their craft. If a machine is doing all the basic coding, all the initial research, all the first drafts, how does the next generation of senior experts ever get the experience they need to actually become experts?
Now, this isn't just about a personal career crisis for a few people. This has the potential to become a threat to our entire society, because this isn't just about jobs, it's about the economic engine that funds our entire way of life.
The logic here is frighteningly simple. Let's walk through it. Step 1. AI starts replacing human labor at a massive scale. Step 2. Companies, which now have far fewer employees, start paying significantly less in payroll taxes. Step 3. The revenue streams that fund everything, our healthcare, our pensions, unemployment benefits, they start to dry up. This creates a massive fiscal leak, and some analyses show that a sustained unemployment rate of just 10 to 20% could be enough to push the entire state towards insolvency.
So what on earth does this all mean for us? This isn't some distant sci-fi future we're talking about. The evidence shows it is happening right now, today, hidden behind corporate PR. And this demands a wake-up call for every single one of us in a white-collar job. This quote just cuts right to the heart of it. Honestly, the single most dangerous belief you can hold right now is that AI is just another tool, like a calculator or a spreadsheet. It's not. It is an agent, it's a collaborator, and it's a competitor. And if you keep viewing it as just a passive tool, you're setting yourself up to be left behind. So what's the move? We have to completely shift our focus. Look at the skills that are declining in value. Routine, predictable stuff like data entry and basic coding. Now look at the skills that are skyrocketing in value. These are uniquely human power skills like critical thinking, empathy, and ethical judgment. Your job is no longer just about doing your old tasks. It's about developing what they call AI fluency and learning how to partner with these systems to do things that were never possible before. And ultimately, this leaves every single one of us with a very stark choice. In this new economy, you are either actively shaping how this technology gets used, becoming a co-creator of value right alongside AI, or you run the very real risk of being deemed redundant. These silent layoffs, they're just the beginning. The only question left is, on which side of that line are you going to be?